Okay, you got it?
Yes.
If you're watching this, I'm dead.
Yes.
Okay. Or gone, or
Yeah,
both.
or both.
Okay, so you've got two remotes. One is listed right and one is listed left. I've got it in the wrong hands. Okay, so left, of course, turns on the left TV, right turns on the right TV, and sometimes they flip on each other. That's your first step. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna come up front. And what we're doing in this tutorial is we're running a laptop with sound, we're doing a microphone that someone can speak into, and we're turning on a wireless microphone for a presenter to use, okay? So, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna turn on your laptop that's right here. Make sure that you've got sound and you're connected with an HDMI cable into the side of the, so that's what an HDMI cable looks like. We go from there, and the good news is there's only one HDMI port on this wall, and it's labeled. So you're gonna put that right there in the HDMI in, which goes to the laptop or whatever. You could also use a Blu-ray player. Anything that will push HDMI out, you can use in this HDMI in jack right here, okay? So Bluetooth, anything like, not Bluetooth, Blu-ray, anything like that. We now have two microphones that are coming out, M1 and M2. This will matter in a minute when we look at the soundboard that's over there. M2, if we were to chase this all the way, goes boom to your little microphone right there. And that's only because it just happens to be plugged into M2. It's not something special. M1 is coming out of the back of this right now, and it is going into this little box. Now this will make sense because you've got sound cord here, and what this is a little broadcaster. And this machine, when you turn it on, turns on a wireless UHF signal that then works with a headphone, a wireless microphone that Philip Palmertree has. So you just need to get the microphone from him. He hangs onto it and changes the batteries every week. So if you need that, then it works, and I'll show you where that works on the board. So if all these things are on and this is plugged in just like this, then you know you've got everything in the front of the room set up. And then you're gonna go to the back of the room. The first thing you're gonna do in the back of the room is you're gonna open this up, and you notice there's no lights on. This power distributor is the first thing you turn on because it gives power to everything. And then there's only two buttons that you will select once everything gets power here that are gonna send a signal from this selector to the televisions. One is main building. Main building is sending the signal from everything, so when that's selected, it's sending the service and it's sending the slides that go over and over again to the TVs that are in this room. Wall is what we just did. So that's where when the HDMI cable went into the wall, this is telling this machine, send the signal to the TV from the little jack on the wall that we just did. And if you turn around and look that way right now, because we just selected wall, now, boom, what we've got is we've got the signal coming from the laptop that we plugged in. You go to main building and there's nothing except the slides. And so watch, I'm gonna keep filming there, Laura. Main building, wall. Main building, wall. And so those slides switch to the service that's happening, but that switch happens. You cannot control that switching from here or anywhere. That switching happens only in the sound booth. Andy can do it, Chad can do it, Deb can do it. I don't know how to do that. But one of those three things, when there's a service happening, one of those three people is up there and they can always switch it. It is a regular thing that they forget to switch from one to the other, so a text to Andy's phone number, which is right here, and he is your saving grace. The number is 601-331-5707. That will save you in the event of any of these things, okay?
But during a Sunday morning, this needs to be on wall?
Sunday morning, it needs to be on wall unless the person teaching Sunday school is using an overhead projector or something.
But it needs to be on main building when we're running slides.
Main building, we're doing slides and worship, and needs to be on wall if you're doing PowerPoint.
Okay, so on a Sunday morning, typically, unless Sunday school is using a PowerPoint, it stays on main building.
Stays on main building, but I typically switch it off during the class because you don't want people just watching the scrolling slides.
Yes.
And what I do to just blank it out is just hit that one that has nothing.
The one at the top?
Yeah, if you just wanted to blank it out to nothing and just have the screens go blank without turning the TV off, because you don't want the TVs off. Right, but this way you can immediately go back to the slides, boom, the minute the Sunday school class starts. Okay, so you notice we've got sound, we've got video, but we have no audio. And so the first thing we do to turn on audio is on the back right side, there's a little toggle switch right there. You turn that on, there's going to be a pop. It was just a little one, but it still happens. And this board lights up. And when it comes to life, then we'll know the difference. Okay, so now it's totally ready to go. Now what's happened is we turned it on and all of a sudden we have sound because there was sound coming out of the computer that's up there from the wall right now. That sound, let's turn that off. Ignore what I'm doing right now. Okay, so the most important button is your main volume button. This says main on it. This controls this output sound from the speakers to the entire room. So if you want it up or down, that's what controls it. There are inputs over here that you choose based on these of what you want to work. Channels 1 through 8 are really the ones that control the microphones. So you remember we saw on the wall up there before the letters M1 and M2, right? When we plugged it in. That makes sense now that you're looking at that. But even if Rebecca were to talk into that microphone right now, you notice that M1 and M2 are both muted. So we couldn't do anything. M1 is the plug-in to Philips wireless microphone. M2 is the microphone on the stand. So Rebecca, talk into M2 for me.
Test.
You notice she has nothing, but keep talking.
Hello.
But you notice those green lights are lighting up and just keep talking for me. Just say the alphabet. And so, the green light is an indicator to you that there is sound coming in to channel M1. Now listen.
O P Q R S T W X Y Z.
Okay, start with do Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Mary had a little lamb.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Okay, so you notice she's got sound that she's sending to the microphone, but this slider is saying how much sound, keep going,
A diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
how much sound do I want to send from here to the main volume? So I could send a sound of 5, but turn the speakers off, and you've got no sound. Or I could have the speakers on 5 and turn the sound input off. So these two things, that's giving your sound just for that channel, okay? And so now we've got our speaker talking. This is great. She's making announcements. So make fake announcements right now.
Okay, we have some exciting things coming up this weekend.
Boom, this is great. Fake announcements happening, blah, 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 blah. And she says, hey, we're going to take a 5-minute.
Dolly Parton dance party.
Yes.
All right, and so then she's done, and we say, okay, we're going to mute that microphone because we're done with announcements. But what we want to do now is have a little background music while people take a break and do that. The way you get to the wall sound is by hitting aux in 1 through 6.
And we're going to have that button labeled what?
And you're going to need, play some music for me, Rebecca.
We're gonna
Okay,
have that.
and you notice now her laptop is playing music that's coming in through the HDMI. And you go, well, why don't we hear it? Remember, we've got mute pressed. And now again, how much volume of music do we want to send to the main? Give me something a little bit more lively so I can hear it.
And that green button over there is going to be labeled what?
This is going to be labeled computer. Okay, so this is your sound, and this is how much volume am I sending to the main? Sending full volume, no volume. Leaving it right here. So that's your main thing. If you wanted to mute that, all of a sudden it's over, break time is over, and you wanted to just turn the music from the computer off, or you could turn it off with the computer. Or, give me something, it's a hard one to hear. And you might need to turn your computer volume up just a hair for me. And this is Kesha. She's a Christian, and she loves Jesus. It's all right.
And that's on record.
What we're going to do right now, Rebecca, is we're going to fade from music to you talking, okay? You're not on yet. So if you were to try and do something where you've got music playing, and there's music playing, but you want to fade to a speaker that's there. So you notice we've got our music playing, and we say, okay, the announcements person has just walked up there. But if we go to 1, we notice the microphone is muted. So, all right, Rebecca, start talking.
The songs that Laura rocking. She could.
And you see, all I've done is I've faded down the music from the computer, and we went up on the microphone, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I'm sorry, A, B, C, D, E, F.
And so we went up on the microphone, and we went down on the music to fade her in and out. And so it's fine. I would mute that while the speaker's going, and then when the speaker's done, all right, the music's still playing, and the music and the speaker's done, and then I would go, okay, we're time for another break.
Time for a break.
And so I mute the speaker, and you've got your break music. And that is how you do it. And just do all that in reverse to be done.